Criminals have always been a part of the NFL environment. Over 55 different crimes have been committed by gamers that we don't understand why they went down that path, including assault, fraud, and even first-degree murder. We've compiled a list of NFL players who have been sentenced to more than 20 years in jail. As well as the reasons for their incarceration. But before we go back all the way to 2001, when Ray Caruth was arrested for murder conspiracy, we highlighted the most recent incidents of former NFL players who found themselves on the wrong side of the law in 2022. Here we go. On October 5th, 2021, former NFL players Coral Buckhalter, Anthony Montgomery, and Darrell Reed pleaded guilty in September to a $4 million healthcare fraud conspiracy. The three players were sentenced on Monday, Buckhalter receiving 10 months in prison and 10 months of house arrest, and the others receiving 10 months of house arrest each. Check out the whole narrative of how they planned their deception under the Gene Upshaw NFL Player Health Reimbursement Account Plan. Travis Rudolph, a former Miami Dolphins and New York Giants player, was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in April of 2021 following a shooting rampage in Florida that left one person dead and another one injured. An impartial witness saw the 25-year-old running about his house with a revolver during what appeared to be an argument between him and his girlfriend. He also heard gunshots near his front yard. He is now requesting all those charges are dropped because he acted in self-defense. A hearing has been scheduled for November 8th due to Florida's Stand Out Your Ground law. The former NFL athlete spent 1 year with the Giants from 2017 to 2018 before being released as part of the final cuts. After that, he signed with the Miami Dolphins but tore his ACL in the first practice, landing him on injury reserved. He never returned to the NFL. In March of 2021, Kellen Winslow II, a former NFL player, was sentenced to 14 years in jail for sexual assaults and numerous rapes. Since 2013, or possibly even before that, the 37-year-old father of two has done nothing except traumatize women, assault with intent to commit rape, indecent exposure, and lewd conduct in public. In 2018, he even befriended a homeless woman before raping her. This man was the highest paid tight end in the NFL, earning more than $40 million over 10 seasons until leaving in 2013. We've run out of words. Returning to the NFL's list of felons who has served more than 20 years in prison, Keith Wright is the all-time leader. The former defensive lineman was in the NFL for a couple of seasons across 3 years before being released. He was arrested in 2011 for a trio of alleged firearm robberies in Sacramento, California. Wright was convicted of 19 offenses in total, including armed robbery, kidnapping, false imprisonment, as well as forcible oral copulation and first-degree burglary. He was then sentenced to 230 years in prison, which would keep him imprisoned long beyond his death. Up next, we have Aaron Hernandez. Hernandez played 3 seasons for the Patriots before his career was cut short after his arrest and conviction for the murder of his former friend, Odin Lloyd. The case for the murder is unknown. However, it was assumed that it was motivated by either Lloyd's treachery of the fear of being exposed as gay, and Hernandez was condemned to life in prison without the possibility of release, but he committed suicide 2 years later in 2017 by hanging himself behind bars. The complete story can be found here. Up next, we have Anthony Smith. Smith played 6 seasons for the Los Angeles and Oakland Raiders before retiring in '97. Smith was convicted of the kidnapping and murder of a man called Dennis Henderson in 2001, as well as brothers Ricky and Kevin Nettles in 1999. In 2015, it only got worse. Henderson's body was discovered in the backseat of a car, with his feet up towards the roof and his head on the floorboard, indicating that he, like the others, had been tortured to death. Smith received 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Eric Naposki, a former Patriot, was convicted of Bill McLaughlin's murder in 2011. Naposki and his lover, Nanette Packard, McLovin's widow, were both murdered in a love triangle. Naposki never acknowledged to the murder and said he was not a killer. In 2012, he was condemned to life in jail without the possibility of release. Darrell Henley, a former Los Angeles Rams quarterback, was arrested in '95 for attempted murder conspiracy and narcotics trafficking. O.J. Simpson, in the Hall of Fame Buffalo Bills running back, was acquitted of the 1994 killings of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. He was ordered to pay the Brown and Goldman families $33.5 million in damages in 1997. Then, in 2007, Simpson was charged with burglary and kidnapping in connection with an alleged event in Las Vegas. He was then found guilty and sentenced to up to 33 years in jail with the possibility of release. He was released in 2017 after serving 9 years in prison. Lawrence Phillips, a former Nebraska standout and St. Louis Rams running back, was arrested in 2005 after he purposely drove into 3 youths during a football game. He was also convicted of assault with a deadly weapon in a separate incident. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Sports Source, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.